Right, it's Pluto and I'm back again with another video. Today we are going to be going through the spray painting equipment that I use when I'm doing my big murals or when I'm doing my little stencils or anything like that. I'm going to run you through everything. There's probably going to be some tips and tricks in here while I go through all my stuff and what works and what doesn't. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So the first thing that I have are the spray paints that I use. These are the Australian Export. I don't know, they're enamel, exterior and interior paint. And they've reduced toxicity. But that's what they look like. I hope it's focusing. I'm gonna be really pissed if it doesn't focus. That's what they look like. And I've got just a colour lime green and matte white. So they come in 3 different styles. There's a glossy, the matte, and then there's a satin. This is the glossy, and you can tell the difference by the type of lid that they have on them. Like this one has a very shiny lid, whereas this one, the lid is matte. And they also say down here, this one says matte white. This one doesn't say anything, which means that it's a gloss. Now these are really good for stencils. They're super cheap. I picked these ones up for $4.50. You can pick them up at hardware stores or like car stores or anywhere that you really get spray paint. They usually have this brand in Australia. At least there's usually like a rack of these, and they're just really cheap spray paints. They don't really last long. They are really vibrant, but with the caps, do you see these? This is like my biggest issue, is that when you take the caps off, you're left with this, which means that these caps aren't adjustable, which means that you can't put any of the caps that you buy offline on them. You can, however, adjust this little bit in here, this little red bit, if you get your fingers in there. This is probably going to be hard to do because I didn't clean the scan. Oh, now I've got spray paint in my fingers. But you can change it sideways and this gives you a nice crisp line. But these aren't typically good without the adjusted caps to get you really nice clean outlines. These aren't the best paints for that. I use these for stencils because that's what I do mostly. The other problem that I had with them is that the glossy ones don't, like when you spray the glossy, if you're using it as a base and then you're going back over with another paint, so like for my cat mural I went over with the glossy grey, and then for the eyes I sprayed the white. It cracked the white because the gloss didn't like having another paint on top of it. So that's the only complaint I've got for those ones. So as I was saying, I can't show you that one because it's got my address on it. I ordered some caps offline. And this is what they look like. These are the super skinny sprayers, the iron lac ones, and then in here I've just got a bunch of mixed caps. But these, because they have this on them, that's the way that they adjust. You can't pop them on here because it's the same stem thing. So like it doesn't work, obviously. These ones go onto cans with the wider nozzle already on them. Like those ones, they have the skinny nozzle on them. But these go on to the ones that have the thicker nozzles already on them. So make sure if you're going to be doing graffiti and you want to do murals freehand, that you check out what caps the spray paint that you're buying has. Generally, if you buy higher grade spray paint, like not the cheap stuff, you're going to be getting the ones with thicker nozzles that you can adjust. But I didn't do that because my work is pretty big and I was already spending a lot of money on my paint, so I didn't want to be using the expensive paint and then having to buy a large amount of it. Spray paint is really hard and it's really expensive. If you're going to do a giant mural, that's going to cost you quite a bit of money. I think my paints for my cat mural cost me around $70, and that's without factoring in all the rest of the equipment that I needed. So make sure that you know what you're doing and that you have the funds available to be doing it. But just with the caps, make sure that you've got the thick caps already on it. Maybe test the nozzle. Ask whether the nozzles are adjustable wherever you're going to be buying your spray paint. And that'll save you the hassle of, your cap's not fitting. Now the next couple of things are safety things that I always use when I'm spray painting. Namely because I have to, because my school doesn't, because I spray paint a lot at my school for my art class. I have to be a safe spray painter because they don't want to be liable for anything that happens to me. So the next thing I've got are these little masks. This one has my logo on them. But these are just the masks that I use, and they go. Now these they're not great. I'm not going to tell you that they're brilliant. I don't know about a lot of other people, but when I put them on, I can still smell the spray paint. I don't feel like it's doing anything for my lungs, but the masks, I guess they prevent the particles from going through. I think they're called dust particle masks. Now I was checking these out online and I couldn't find the exact same thing online. I guess if you knew what to call them, you would be able to find them easier. But I just searched up dust particle masks and it came up with the ones that you like go over and then around your ears, like the surgeon's masks, and I feel like those would be more effective than these, and you can pick up a pack of them for $1 off eBay. So I'd be going for those rather than for these because, I don't know, those things don't work. Gloves, obviously, because you need gloves. I just use these. These come in packs of like 100 and you can get them offline. They're just called disposable gloves. I use the latex ones. You can get a variety of different gloves. You can probably pick them up almost anywhere. But yeah, gloves. So for my mural, I wasn't able to make the lines that I wanted for the outlines of my cats because the caps for the spray paint didn't fit on my paints. So I wasn't able to create the lines that I wanted, and so I had to come up with an alternative. And my alternative was interior paint. I went to the hardware store and I just asked around. I was like, hey, do you have any cheap black paint? And this guy mixed me up like a little tester. It cost me $13 for this 500ml pot of paint. But I just applied that with one of these, and this is one of the most bestest things that a spray paint artist could have. But this I just use to smooth out my spray paint if there's any cracks, like the white did on the grey in my cat mural. And it's just really helpful. So if you're going to be using paint for your lines, get one of these. Now a big question that I always get asked is, what do I use to create my stencils? Like, what medium do I create my stencils from? Because people have trouble with paint bleeding through paper or like cardboard, and it's smearing and smudging, and there's a variety of different issues that people come across when using stencils. And so I have my art folio here, but here I have a stencil, and for this one I just used paper because I was using a larger image, because obviously this is a 2 image, so I just used paper for this one, and it did bleed through and smear a little bit on my piece. So that's generally why I don't use paper, is because it smears and it goes under the paper and smudges everywhere. My art teacher did put me on to this stuff. You're probably not going to be able to see it properly because it's all... But these are all my stencils, by the way. These are all my stencils that I use for my cats. But these are just created using this plastic, see-through plastic material. So I haven't had any problems with using the see-through clear plastic to create my stencils. I just draw on what I need and then I cut it out with an X-Acto knife or a scalpel, whatever you want to call it. And then I haven't had any problems with it smearing or anything, aside from the leaf and the flower, which I was using consecutively. So I was like spraying one and then going on to another, and then it just got very, very, very wet, and the inner like leaf parts started twisting and it started transferring onto the wall that I was using. And you can probably tell in my cat videos, which I'll link below, that the plastic was getting very, very droopy, and that transferred onto my piece, which wasn't great. So they are good for one-time use. I'm still getting the hang of them because I haven't been using them for all that long. I've had better experiences with using the plastic than I have with paper, but I can't say the same for cardboard. I used to use cardboard to create a lot of my stencils and that worked fairly well. The only problem is that, you know, cardboard, it's not very professional and it doesn't, I don't know, it kind of gets really dirty and you just don't want to use it again. So I have had good experiences with the plastic, but if you're going to be using like the stencil over and over and over for the same thing, then I recommend using a thick grade cardboard and then just like sticking that out and disposing it once you're done with it. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and join the family by subscribing using the big red button below or clicking on my face at the end of this video. We'd love to have you, and I do a lot of cool art and different kind of stuff. If you have any questions or you feel like I didn't cover something well enough, make sure to leave me a comment and I will reply to you guys. I love interacting with you and I am happy to help in any way that I can. This medium is an incredible medium and I love that it's getting so much interest at the moment, and I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Other than that, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye!